So welcome back. This is part 3 of Forecast, Chapter 8. So we're going to watch a video that talks a little bit about demand and how different companies cope with this variation in demand. So you have the link if you want to watch directly. I'm just going to put the video here, okay?
How do we ensure we're meeting demand? Well, that's a good question. We want more demand.
Sometimes you can't meet customer demand. Sometimes it's a situation where an analogy we like to make is the Bay Bridge at rush hour. There's only so much that you can do. If you can fit 50 pizzas somewhere and there's demand for 100, you're not meeting the demand. All you can do is make sure that those 50 that you do have come out the best product possible, and then the people that we're unable to meet the demand for, it's just a matter of communicating with them, why we can't meet the demand and what we can do for them.
We've not had what I call an Oprah moment where someone said, hey, someone wrote about our bag and all of a sudden we got 1,000 orders the next day. Like no singular event has ever caused a major spike in our production. Now we have run some promotions with like Living Social. There we'll get a spike of maybe 1,000 or 2,000 bags, and that is a time when we'll publish on our website, hey, the lead time is not 2 weeks right now, it's 3 weeks. Bear with us, we got a lot of orders to get through. We're making everybody's bag custom.
We do things to try to ease the pain somewhat. We'll let people, once they're on the seating list, and we know when they're going to be sat, we'll let them get their pizza order in, and we'll time it to come out just after they're sat. The people that get it, and it works really well. But some people, they're just used to other things, so it's hard to make everybody happy.
We manage our supply and demand so that, at the end of the month, if someone comes in and says, I need 500 bags, but I need them in a week, we might say, you know what, we can't do that job. The other thing is, at the end of the day, we can only make so many bags. And so we're not like trying to constantly turn up the dial to make more and more bags like, Lucille Ball in the chocolate factory where it runs out of control and she's got to eat all the chocolates so that they don't fall on the floor. At some point, it's as fast as it needs to be. And so we want this to be an enjoyable process. We want it to be efficient because that's important from a business standpoint, but we also want people to enjoy working here. Generally speaking, we just have to know kind of where the sweet spot is in our business and not take on jobs that we can't do.
So on the video, they talk about what we call the demand management options. So examples of, okay, during the course of a day, during the course of the month, we might have a spike that in our demand that we can't cope, right? So we have two examples. One is the bags, rickshaw bag, and the other one is the pizza place, right? So how does the pizza place deal with that spike on demand? So pay attention to the video. He said that, okay, we need to talk to the customers, let them know that's going to take a little bit more time, and also let they take a look at the menu and start ordering and thinking about the process. So why do they do that? Why do they make people start looking at the menu and deciding what to order, when to order? So by doing that, they actually reduce the time that the person is using the table, right? Because if you think about the process of ordering, you get the menu, you look at it, you decide what you need to order, and then you order, right? And it takes the time to the kitchen to make your order and deliver it to you, and then you get it and eat it, right? So by letting the people look at the menu and decide, they're reducing the time that people are sitting at the table. What about the rickshaw bags? What are they doing? So as he's explained, if the demand is too high, he cannot fulfill the order. He will increase lead time, right? The time it takes to make the product. So he doesn't have an inventory of products. He needs, the only thing that he can do is to actually say, oh, it's going to take a little bit more time, right? So similar to the pizza, but in this case, it's going to put in his website, it's going to take 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something like that, right? So he can span that lead time as demand management options. In this slide, we're going to talk about some other examples of demand management options or how to change those patterns, right? So we can have what we call complementary products. So you're producing other products to fulfill your capacity. to fill their capacity. So, for example, we can try to sell some dark beer during the winter or other beverages that we can produce in the same line, so we can increase, our sales in another kind of product line. You can do some promotional pricing, so we can have special events or special promotion. We reduce the price. We make, two for the price of one or something like that, so we can increase the demand during that period of time, right? So if you think about examples of that, restaurants do that sometimes with early happy hours or early dinners, right? So whenever I heard about the early dinners, I think, who's going to have dinner at 3 o'clock? But, some people do, and then they get discount for that, and no one is having lunch at 3 o'clock. So the restaurant gets the demand, gets some people there to order, get revenue, and get business, right? Pre-schedule appointments, reservation backlogs, so anything you need to reserve, like going to the doctor, you're pre-scheduling some appointments or reservations. Back orders or stock outs, sometimes you say, I can't meet the demand, people are going to wait, and then and they're going to be in back order. More the concept that's newer and it's working in different industries would call revenue management. Revenue management is basically being more dynamic in terms of changing your price, so you can adapt to the demand. So what are the companies that do that pretty often? So most companies usually related to tourism, right? So airlines change their price constantly depending on what day you do the reservation. Hotels are the same thing, right? Because they know if you're booking something 10 months from now, you're pretty flexible. If you're booking something for next week, you're not, so you're going to pay more for that. Here's some examples. I got this from the Wall Street Journal, where they're kind of some different industries, even a zoo in Indianapolis or a valley ski area, changing the price over the day so they can get more demand, right? So this also happened with movie theaters, right? They change constantly the price. For example, in a weekday and a Wednesday, they're going to have lower price, and weekends they're going to have a higher price, right? But you can use that concept in other kind of business as well. Here are some examples. So the last aspect that we're going to talk about demand management options is actually to understand what is happening